Hello and welcome to Community Forum, your every week show of community interest. My name is Roy M. Cohen. I am the host. I'm usually the producer and the director on the other side of the window, but I thought that I would come in today and be the host because we have a very special subject and we have a very special guest with us to talk about the very special subject. And before we get into talking live with the guest who is on hand, I would like to show you a little introductory video and take a look at that, and then we'll get started.
One key. It may not seem like much, but to a family, it could make a world of difference. Understanding that today's average American doesn't have the money for charity, we've developed Key for Hope.
Hi, I'm Ralph Greenberg, and I've seen poverty all over the world, in hospitals in Africa, but more importantly, here at home. More than 400 million keys are thrown away each year. We want to recycle those keys and use the profits to stock food pantries, shelter the homeless, and employ the unemployed.
Key for Hope, opening doors to a brighter future.
That's it. That gives you a quick introduction about the subject matter at hand. And I think at this time I'd like to introduce my guest, who is a very important part of the KFH organization. I keep thinking KFC, and I got to be very careful. Miss Alli Greenberg, it's a pleasure to have you on board.
Roy, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Why don't we get started with this and maybe give us a little history of the company beyond what, I guess that was your father?
That was him.
It's hard to believe, such a young man. That must have been taken a long time ago.
Not so long ago.
Not so long ago. All right, he started off young then, I guess. All right, why don't we get into a little subject matter, talk about the organization and your immediate goals, and then we have a bunch of questions we'd like to ask.
Yeah, first I started out as a representative with Key for Hope. What we do here is we recycle keys. We turn the keys into a monetary value and fill the food pantries of your choice.
That's it?
And that's it, as easy as that.
How long has this organization been in existence?
We established it in 2006.
That's a very unusual charity adventure, to collect keys and turn it into money, and then turn that money into food for food pantries.
Ralph likes to say we turn chicken poop into chicken soup, so.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good venture.
Exactly.
Now, is it just local, or is it?
Currently, we are nationally. We would like for our goal to be worldwide, because we do see that keys are everywhere. Pretty soon we'll be keyless. And first we'd like to start at home. We believe charity starts at home.
That is a good point. You will be keyless at some point.
Absolutely.
You get in your car now, you don't need a key anymore. You just press the little button.
Push to start.
Amazing. So what do you do then?
Find a new idea.
No, this will be around for a while, I'm sure.
It will.
I have a pocket full of keys. A lot of them are useless. I'll have to donate them.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will. Now, if somebody wants to get involved with this charity, what do they do?
They could look us up via email, via website, keyforhope.org. We are on all social media, Twitter, Facebook. Maybe we can post that at the end.
Sure. No, maybe you can post it now if Gina has a chance.
Perfect.
Put up the information for the company. There we go.
And as soon as you contact us, we will have a forum of what you need to do as far as to run a successful key drive.
If somebody in Colorado wants to get involved with this, do they call you and then you go out to Colorado and get it going, or you do it through the internet, or what?
We could if we had the money to fund us to go to Colorado, but we will send them all our PDFs via email, send them all our essentials such as posters, buckets, pamphlets, just to get them going. And then for us, they could either send us the keys through the mail, or we could look through for a recycling facility in Colorado or whatever state they're from.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So your company right now is based in Avon, Mass.
Yep.
And the phone number we had up there, we will show it again. How do you decide who gets the funds? Who makes that decision?
We typically give the choice to the donor. So if they are from Colorado, it could go back to a Colorado food pantry, or we do have a bucket designated just to a food pantry that we give to, which is UMass.
Okay, so you're pretty much ready to give them all the information they need. The type of supplies, you have buckets, posters, pamphlets, business cards.
Any literature they need that we can send through PDF files. Anything that will get their key drive smooth and successful.
Is it possible to tell us how many different organizations you have set up? I mean, how many different locations you have set up at this point?
I couldn't give you an exact number, but we do range from grocery stores to banks to universities to individual person collecting keys. It really ranges. Mm-hmm. We don't have a limitation on how our key drive can go.
Interesting. And the keys, when you collect them, they go to, where do they go to, recycling?
Yep, they come right back to us. So once they come back to our facility in Avon, we'll weigh them, and then we'll distribute to be sold and sent to our recycling company.
How many keys, I don't want to stump you, but how many keys do you have to put in to make a pound?
50.
50 keys?
That's it.
Interesting. And what percentage of the donations that you collect go to the charity?
100% will go back to your food pantry of choice.
Well, that's unusual.
Why?
Well, because most charities take a piece off the top to run the organization, don't they?
Of course, but we're unique and different than any other organization out there.
It sounds that way.
So that's how we like to stand out.
So you collect the keys, you recycle the keys, you get the money, and 100% of the money that you collect goes to the charity.
Of your choice, yeah.
So how do you survive? You got a lot of money behind you?
No, this is out of just wanting to be a good person, doing right by doing good.
Doing right by doing good. That sounds like my motto. I do right, and as a result, I do good.
Exactly.
This show is an example of that.
Simple.
We've only been doing the show for about 30 years.
It's going pretty well.
Yeah, before you became around. Let me see, what else? What other items besides keys do you accept?
We don't really like to stop at keys. Ralph always told me, you have to remember when we used to put out medal for the war in the 1940s. And I think currently we're going through that. I think we're at war with poverty, homelessness, and food insecurity. I think for us as a foundation, we like to give our identity as keys, but I think there's more to it. I think if you have a broken belt buckle or coat hangers or anything very tangible in your house that isn't being used, I think there could be a value to it.
You have to supply bigger buckets.
We can do that. That can
do
be
that.
done. Currently, we have a container over at UMass Boston that is collecting just random metals that are coming off the buildings. And I do foresee that to be a step beyond just the keys.
Okay.
Collecting other metals.
Is that poster that I see off to our side, does that go along with the buckets so people know what the buckets are there for?
Yes, yep, we can attach that to all.
Maybe we can zero in on that, Mr. Camera Person. Here we go. One key can help unlock hunger. Please help to eliminate hunger by recycling your unwanted keys. For more information, please call 508-580-1231 or visit their website at www.keyforhope.org. Make poverty history. Boy, does that sound good. That sounds good. Interesting. So
Simple. Easy.
Well, it's the best way to go.
And I think what's different between us and other organizations is we're not asking for money. We're asking for a tangible item everybody has and uses daily. Mm-hmm. So I think that's how we could stand out and create the buzz.
How long do your drives last? They just keep going? As they fill up a bucket, they send it to you and they just keep it going?
We do it that way, but it ranges. It's customizable to the organization that is doing the key drive. In the past, whether it's a university collecting, we've had competitions between classes. Say it's a corporate company that's running a key drive. It could be a competition again, or it could just be solely on just bringing in the keys that you have from your house, whether it's an email blast being sent out to your employees. It's really fit specifically for that company or organization or university. So it ranges. And I think it really comes to the person who's collecting the keys to find that creative niche.
Interesting. In what, 6 years, the foundation was founded 6 years ago?
Yep.
By Ralph?
By Ralph, yep.
And how many keys have you collected so far in the 6 years? I want an accurate number now.
You want an accurate number? I only could say in the last 6 months, there have been 200,000 keys collected. But I want to say in the last 6 years,
Yeah?
a lot of
You
commas.
want my calculator?
A lot of commas is all I have to say.
Well, that's good. That
Yes.
sounds like there's success. Then you have something about if every undergrad student brought in 1 key, that would be how many keys?
I think we're referring to UMass Boston, so it would be 16,000
Uh-huh.
if everyone brought in 1 key.
Plus the faculty. You have to include the teachers too.
Of course.
And that would bring it up to 50,000, which would bring it up to, I'm not going to stump you, $2,300 in value of keys.
Imagine that,
That's incredible.
without asking for money.
Strange.
I know.
I mean, you hear these commercials on the radio, one of them, which just drives me nuts, and I'm not going to mention it because I can't say something nice about it, but it's like after every newscast, you know, there's this jingle that causes me to press the button and change the station.
Oh yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking
I'm sure everybody watching knows who I'm talking about. I mean, I don't know how they make money. They got to be paying for those ads. And when they collect a car or something, it's like $200 they collect for the car. And this has been going on and on and on. I thought it was going to end around Christmas time.
I hope you're not going to say that about our company.
No, you guys are good. I mean, this is unbeatable.
Yes.
This is a no-brainer. Let me see, what else? You talked about other metal items and how long they last. Passionate about the issue of food insecurity on college campuses. There's homelessness on campuses?
Crazy, right? So I did students. I know. I come from a university where it's typically not a 18-year-old college student. It's a student who has a family, works a part-time job, has 3 kids. So I find food insecurity to be a huge issue, not just in Massachusetts, worldwide. So luckily I work for a program called U-Access. We service students where we provide services such as a food pantry that I run. And we're serving 45 students weekly, so it's prevalent. It's very prevalent on campus.
And who has access to the food on the at the food pantry? Who can go to the food pantry and get?
Just the students. No faculty, no one from outside of the campus, just strictly students.
It's basically on the honor system, I would assume.
Exactly. We do an intake form. Of course, we ask, what their income is, but it's trust policy. If they say they need us, we provide.
Do you have a university headquarter?
Yep.
Main office?
Right on campus.
At UMass?
At UMass.
And who runs that?
Currently, I do with my director, Shirley Fanchan.
You're all over the place.
I am. You got to spread the love.
And you're doing it. So the structuring of a college setup, how's that structured?
As far as the pantry goes?
Yeah, as far as getting it going and who runs it. You said you're there, but if you have 4 or 5 different universities, are you everywhere?
No. So luckily, I'm located at UMass Boston. We're the first actually in Massachusetts to have a pantry on campus. So we really had to start from grassroots. And 3 years in working there, I finally came up with a structure of success for the students. They come in, we give them a 15-pound bag of grocery items, another 10-pound bag of produce, and they can do that weekly. And then we also provide a hot meal each week. So
how do you do that?
we partnered up with Sodexo and a program called Campus Kitchens, and they switch off bi-weekly and cook for us. So if the students need to come down during their 6-hour class schedule, there's a place to go to grab food. They don't have to worry about going to CAF and spending crazy money, $10 on something.
I've read recently that there seems to be a need for donations to food pantries.
Yes.
Which is aside from what you folks are doing. I love what you're doing. I think it's a great idea. But the pantries are not
being stocked.
They're not being stocked. And then again, I've recently been to a food pantry where I saw an excess amount of food being given to individual people, a lot more than I would think they needed. That's not happening here. You're saying there's like a 5-pound bag of everybody, it's metered out?
Yeah, we've kind of come to a good system of what we can provide, especially with the in-kind donations coming in. So if we didn't have our partners collecting those donations, we wouldn't be able to provide. So I think like I said, I think we've come up with a good system of how much we can give, knowing how much we actually receive during the week.
Okay.
But yeah, I do see in the food pantries a lot of shelves aren't being stocked properly either. And we're also lacking the essentials of good produce and all of that. So,
do you go to places that, like donut shops, not specifically? I know that there's some donut shops, if they don't sell their products by the end of the day, it gets gathered up and I think brought to homeless shelters and stuff like that.
We've had some partnerships with the Dedham Whole Foods that have given their excess food. We've had the Pepperidge Farms where all the bread is not expired, but maybe 2 or 3 days past the due date or expired date. So yeah, we've partnered up with them. It's tough to get those on board though, to get that consistency, because a lot of the food pantries are driven off of volunteers. So it's not a consistent job all the time.
How do you get the word out, aside from coming on the Community Forum show?
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. A long time in coming since I met your father. But how do you get the word out?
I think for us especially, I think awareness. And I think to spread awareness, we need to start off by educating people on being environmentally responsible. Keys are recyclable, but also going on local advertisements, being on this show, thank you.
Do you have a mailing list?
Yes, we do.
So you're constantly sending out mailings to fraternities?
We don't have that, but we would
colleges?
That's a good idea. That is a good idea.
I'm full of good ones.
I know you are.
Sometimes if you can get them out of me, we can make progress here.
No, that is a good idea. I just think awareness really starts by educating people on it.
Yeah, but in order to educate them, you have to get them to say, what's this all about?
And I think being a nonprofit, we do have those limitations on what we could buy. So I think free advertisement is awesome to take advantage of. The local penny saver.
They're not usually free.
I know. So maybe if anyone wants to do us a favor.
Well, there are things in this area like the patch. You could probably put something in there on a regular basis. There's some people that read them.
And
I mean, it's a great idea. Just to get it out would be...
word of mouth. Spread the word. Family, friends, all of that.
Okay. What have we got here for questions? Let me see. Some people have argued that technology encourages disconnect from the plight of others.
I think that is, for my generation speaking, I would be lost without that. So I can't discredit what it's done for me.
What have you learned from your involvement? I'm sure that, well, you've grown up in it. 6 years is a good part of your life. And you saw the very beginning of this with your father. Did you think he was doing a great thing when you first heard about it, or did you have to kind of grow into it? Be honest. Like, what are you doing, Dad?
No, I never question. If you knew my father, he's full of ideas. So this was just an idea that came to the dinner table one day that, probably got brushed aside, but he believed in it. And I have to say, I'm totally his sidekick in this. So if he believed in it, I was believing in it.
Any other members of the family involved?
My sister Susie and our cousin Megan does all the behind-the-scene work, sends everything out, gets all the materials ready, communicates with our clients, all our contacts. So it is a family business.
Are your products that you send out donated, or do you have to buy them?
We buy them ourselves, yes.
You buy the buckets? Be interesting to see if you could find companies that make the buckets and see if they would donate them.
Absolutely.
That's great.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, another one.
2.
Fantastic.
Chop them up.
Okay, let me see. Okay, this is what I mentioned to you before about donations at Massachusetts food banks, and food banks around the country are dwindling, which is really a sad situation. Then the question I guess you wanted me to ask you is, does Keys for Hope have a plan for offsetting this decrease? And I guess that would be this program. Yes?
I don't know the question.
Well, do you have plans for offsetting the dwindling supplies of food that are going into the food banks?
Oh, of course, of course. And I think this is where it will start with this idea of collecting keys. I think it'll eliminate people pulling money out of their pocket, and I think that it just is a unique idea to present it this way, as opposed to asking for a charity donation.
Do you think that you need to form an army of youngsters to get this type of thing going, like through the internet, through Facebook?
Yes.
I mean, there are ways of people winning elections.
Yes, yeah.
When they get the young behind them.
Of course, and I would love a team that mirrors our passion and our goals. I think it's hard to find that because a lot of people nowadays are looking for that money, and we are looking for a certain specific type of person that could fit our mission statement. So if anyone is out there looking for an internship or looking to help us eradicate hunger, we're your program.
So this is all being done in the United States as of right now.
As
You're
of
not
right now.
international yet.
I believe we've actually had some keys donated from the UK, but we haven't touched upon that yet.
Do you have a way of finding out what countries have a severe problem with hunger?
Oh yeah, we could look into that.
And then try to find sources of...
Yeah, and they're out there. I just think I like to reiterate, charity starts at home, and I'd like to start here.
You got to make hay while the sun shines. Get
course.
these places before they go away from using keys.
I agree.
Which won't be for a while, but it's interesting. So let me see what we got here. You said you collected 250,000 keys in the last 6 months. We'll have to stretch that. There's something in here about Earth Fest. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, we did some involvement with them.
What is that organization?
Earth Fest is how would I describe Earth Fest? It's a event that is coordinated to bring awareness of other environmental programs that are either green friendly or trying to do something right for their town. So.
What about, I see Staples is mentioned here.
We've had some talk with them in the past, and we were affiliated with them for a little bit.
Have they got them in their stores? They have these collections in their stores?
Initially, we wanted Staples to be our drop-off locations. And it's still in the works, so we're hopeful for that.
That would be huge, because
they're
very large and they're in the process of expanding.
And if we can get that easy button, we could just tell everyone how easy it is to fill this bucket is.
Boy, oh boy, you know Staples.
Of course.
Well, keep working on it. And there are other places like that. Get the chains.
Yes.
There are some that do an awful lot of advertising, and this would make them look pretty good. You got a company like Joseph Bank that advertises their suits and stuff. If they all of a sudden become a collection point, that would just make them look better. They got the right idea. What else? Anything else?
I feel good.
You feel? We feel like we've almost survived with the whole thing. Why don't we, if we have an opportunity, can we put on the messages at this point, Gina?
Hi, it's Gary LaPierre, and the crew wants to thank Maxie's Delicatessen. That's at 117 Sharon Street in Stoughton. They're 781-341-1662. American Cancer Society, yes, they're looking for volunteers. Drive cancer patients to and from their treatments. 1-800-ACS-6662, or just go to www.cancer.org. Ilsa Mark's Food Pantry in St. Anthony's Free Market, 2 Park Avenue in Stoughton. For more information, call Christine Gallagher. That's at 781-341-0611 or 781-341-0549. Meals on Wheels. Just ask for Jessica. You'll find her at 781-344-8882, extension 2. Stoughton Penny Saver. Our business is advertising your business, they tell us. 27 Rose Glen Street, Stoughton, 781-344-4833. Community Forum showtimes in Stoughton. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 6 p.m., Monday at 8 p.m., Tuesday at 5 p.m. It's on Comcast Channel 9 and Verizon Channel 28. All comments and suggestions welcome. Contact us at communityforum1@yahoo.com. Community Forum showtimes in Easton. Mondays at 9 p.m., Tuesday at 8 a.m., Wednesdays 3 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. And that too, Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 22. Samaritans, they're at 41 West Street on the 4th floor in Boston, 02111. Their phone number is 617-536-2460. 24-hour helplines for Samaritans, and the number is 877-870-HOPE. That's 877-870-4673. Samaritans, you can find them at 800-252-TEEN. That's 252-8336. Or find them online at SamaritansHope.org.
The next item would be the Gianna Fund. We had them on the show recently, and we want to remind you that the Gianna Fund fundraiser will be held on Saturday, February 28th from 1 to 6 p.m. They'll have food, DJ raffles, auction, entertainment for kids, and the admission or donation is $25. Kids under 12 are free. And this is a very important charity to help the family buy a handicap van, which is really, really needed for transportation. She's getting bigger and she's very difficult to take around, so whatever you can do, come on down there or just send a check. They'll be happy to receive it. Next item would be the very important item. In riding around Stoughton, Randolph, etc. in the last couple of days, the fire hydrants are not being shoveled out, and that could be a disaster, especially, if God forbid there's a fire in your house and they have to go looking for the fire hydrants. It would really be good if you would get out there and shovel out the hydrants. The snow is so deep that you can hardly see the markers that they have to identify their presence. And the next thing would be the Candidates Forum. There's going to be a candidates debate here on SMAC on March 5th and March 12th. The March 5th program will be live at 6 o'clock at night. It'll feature the school committee candidates. And so far, we've heard from one of the two. We've heard from Molly Cochran. We've yet to hear from Erna Murrell. And they all received a letter asking for a response by February 2nd. And that's been it so far. And the selectmen candidates will be on Thursday, March 12th at 6 p.m. and again live. And we've heard from all of the candidates except for Robert O'Regan. We've heard from Cynthia Walsh, Robert Cohen, and Peter Brown. These will be very interesting candidates forums hosted by Joe Feaster. And I believe that's it, except for the word about the Key for Hope program. Again, we'll show you that slide, and if you have a chance, give them a call. Here it is here. It's 800-949-5424. Alli, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
It's your first time on TV. You did great.
Thank you so much.
And we wish you all the success in the world.
Thank you, and thank you for whoever watched.
Okay, and that's it.